some point. Hi everyone, welcome to the R Anime Podcast. I didn't prepare an intro for this like I usually do. I wanted to have this, I don't think anyone would know what I'm talking about, but there's this compilation of NBA players getting asked really stupid questions, and there's this one guy who just like gets like so fed up with interviewers that he just says, "I'm thankful," for every single answer. Someone just asks him like a question about a game, and he's just like, "I'm thankful," just over and over again. And it's so funny, and I just think about that. That would have been the intro for this podcast if I wasn't busy if I had my life under control in any sort of way. But yeah, this is a bit of a another sort of a unplanned. Well, actually, that'd be an insult for what you did.
I think the
last
correct
week.
term, I think the better term would be a free talk episode. I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
kind of like that. But I mean, it has a bit of a theme for it because we live in pretty stressful times right now. Lots of things are not very good. People might suck.
shit's fucked, to put it lightly. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you know, wor- Everyone works and work sucks. Other people suck. Everything costs like $25 extra now. There's a
The
new
world is dying.
there's a new
Uh
COVID variant that's like it runs on 6G, so our shitty 5G vaccines won't work on it anymore. You know, Wonderful stuff. But I figured, we like to make some room for positivity, some good things. So
Silver lining, if you will. Yeah.
yeah, so we're going to talk about things that we're thankful for lately. And it doesn't have to be anime specifically. Like, there are things I like in anime, things we're thankful for in anime, but, just whatever you might be thankful for in your life recently, over the last year or so, I'd say. Yeah, share them with us. So if you want to join this episode, go to the Discord server if you're not in it somehow. Links in the description. Join the general voice chat, and we'll get some people in here, and they can talk about what they're thankful for.
I'm curious, Mel, what you're thankful for, just to kick things off.
What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for VTubers.
Okay, go into that. Let's unpack that.
Yeah. I've been watching, like, I haven't watched anime in like a month. Instead, I've just been watching VTubers constantly. Because, I don't know how to parse this, but I've kind of been thinking that VTubers have like this push and pull effect where like I'm pulled into them because it's like there's this personality that I can really vibe with, and they're doing something that I can watch. Like they're playing a game I can understand. Like lately, literally all of the Hollow EN girls have been playing Pokemon, the new Pokemon, the Diamond and Pearl remake, which I have
Hmm.
absolutely no fucking interest in playing. It's a fucking $60 ripoff, but like it's a game that I can watch easily, and I can get into it based on that. And so I like really enjoy watching that. But then there's also this thing that pushes me away, where it's like I don't have to get attached to it because it's not like it's not like I'm being presented a person. Like I enjoy the personality, and I also enjoy like the person that's behind it, but it's like the fact that it's not real means that like you know I shouldn't get too attached to it.
You don't want to create a parasocial relationship, you know what I mean?
Exactly, like, and I know that exists a lot in this sort of industry, call it what you will, but like I don't know. It's really hard to describe. It's like this very, very strange appeal that just works in lots of different ways.
I get that. I've actually never watched VTubers. I've seen clips.
Hmm.
I'll say I've watched that Ikambukum video from what's her name? Coroni? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
what her name
Corona,
is? Corona?
coronavirus.
She just says Ikambukum, and that's like I don't know why, but that's like the funniest thing ever to me.
Hmm.
Like I'm like Ikambukum. I don't know what the hell that means, but I say it to myself.
Yeah.
It's like you said or kind of alluded to, like it is kind of like almost like a podcast in a way.
Hmm.
It has a similar appeal to a podcast where like you're listening in on someone just talking and sometimes they'll say something funny.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's maybe in a time where we're kind of all isolated, it's like it's nice to just listen to someone just play a game and just kind of say silly things
Yeah.
because we're not really with people as much as we were like before COVID.
Mm. I do
It's
think that the pandemic and stuff like had to do with or had an effect on like how Hollow EN just completely blew up and
well,
how
before this,
VTubers in general.
VTubers were a thing before
Oh
COVID, right?
yeah, but I mean like
Yeah,
when Hollow Live English got announced, like all of those girls got to 1 million subs like instantly, like within a couple of months.
that is a lot actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until like recently like how dedicated VTuber fans are. Like they're like really into VTubers,
Mm.
which is cool, but it's like, wow, it's kind of impressive.
Mm. But like you were saying, like it is kind of watching someone do a podcast. It's really not any all that far off from just regular content. It's just that instead of actual people, you're just getting this sort of like anime character
Persona?
stand-in. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a persona basically. And like I said, just people suck, and I don't really enjoy watching people too much. I
But you
guess.
can watch a persona. That's a character. Actually, a character is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Like characters are more interesting than people themselves.
Hmm.
Like there's a fictional aspect to it. There's a more appealing aspect to it.
Hmm.
The way you describe it makes it sound like like you're watching Twitch streamers just in general. Like,
Yeah.
okay, interesting. Oh, I should say I like Gura. Gura's I like Gura when she
Everyone
does
likes
like
Girl.
karaoke. That is that not what her name is? It's like the little shark girl.
Yeah, yeah. I said I love Guru.
Oh, okay, okay. I do think that's adorable. She like sings like Sunday Morning by Maroon 5 and it rules. Love that shit.
Mm.
But other than that, I don't know a whole lot about VTubers. Other than I think some of their designs are really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I one of the reasons why how I got into this is because of Guru, and I thought her design was so good. I'm like, yeah, this is funny. Like if this was a seasonal anime coming out, I'd be excited for this character.
I
Yeah,
feel that.
yeah. Also, hello everybody. Everybody in chat, everybody joining
Hey
in.
everybody in chat, what's going
What's
on?
good, chat? Yeah, I can't do a. I'm trying to be like hype content guy, but we're just low key. We're the low key
We're
guys.
vibing. We're chilling.
We're also extremely tired.
I think we're both tired.
uh, it's the weekend. I don't know about you. I had a particularly long. I am having a particularly long weekend at work.
Oh, you work weekends, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah. That is what it is.
So what are you thankful for, Mr.
Oh,
Becker?
so I was, it's funny, like, because when you announced that you were like, or when you suggested we do something like this, like a week ago,
Hmm.
I actually had something in mind that I wanted. I was almost going to be a caller, like I was going to call in and like talk about like something I was thankful for, and I actually thought of something that I was like, oh fuck, that's something I'm really thankful for, and then I completely forgot it. So I'm going to make a new thing that I'm thankful for is any and all memories that I currently still have with me. I'll say that much.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, so like what kind of inspired this was like I watched a movie recently called The Father, and it stars Anthony Hopkins. It's really good. It's about a really old man who suffers from Alzheimer's. Um, for me, I mean, I kind of resonate with a lot because I had grandparents that had Alzheimer's, and like watching them kind of like,
Mm.
what's the word? Like, kind of lose themselves as a person over time is really depressing. The movie itself kind of depicts Alzheimer's as like every day is like kind of the same, but like key details and people are different than what you remember from the day before. And it can be very jarring and very frustrating and very confusing because it seems like your whole world is out to get you in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but it just made me realize like, oh fuck, I don't want to be like that one day. I might be like that one day. And I might want to be thankful for the memories I currently do have, at least. But Sorry to be all depressing, but um, I got one other thing I'm thankful for, and I realized this because before I recorded this or I got on this episode, I was watching some Cowboy Bebop. It's a good show. Love that show. Rocks. And it made
The
me
like the
realize,
actual Cowboy Bebop or the live action?
oh, it was the anime, yeah.
Okay.
And I know Cowboy Bebop is like it's pretty mainstream at this point. Obviously, it got a
Oh
whole
yeah.
fucking Netflix series. But what made me think about, or what I was thinking about while I was watching it, was like, not every anime gets like this treatment. It's not every anime is like archived in like, I guess, data, if that makes sense. Like there will just be series from like 20 years ago that will never see the light of day again,
Mm.
whether it be like available on like a place you can download or like a streaming service. Like there will be so many shows that will be lost to time. And I guess what I'm thankful for is people who are dedicated to like archiving anime, even if it's really obscure shit that no one watches. I think that's
Hmm.
cool. Just from a historical standpoint,
Yeah.
I think that shit rocks.
Not even just anime. There's a lot of effort made into just archiving media.
Media. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think that's really important. It's just like, I don't know. We just need history on everything. It's getting particularly difficult for video games at the very least.
I was gonna say video games is probably a really difficult thing because
Yeah.
there are lots of video games that were only made for a specific console,
Or
and
even
like
like,
obviously you can like, you know,
yeah,
platform them and what or whatever the term is. I don't know what it is.
yeah.
Um, but there are also games that are just insanely hard to find at this point.
I mean, then also some games were just made and like only released digitally, and so like we're kind of coming up to this problem where like PS3 games that were only available online are just like disappearing forever because like those servers are getting shut down now.
Oh, is Sony just kind of like shutting that shit down?
I think so.
Oh,
I remember hearing some sort of issue about this.
there's
Or I think it was
I've
the
noticed that.
PSP actually. The PSP like completely shut
Oh,
down.
I feel like I've heard about that. It was something
Yeah.
PlayStation related,
Yeah.
but I've noticed that a lot of like these publishers or like these companies that like hold all the rights to them kind of don't care about like archiving all this stuff.
Oh, of course. I
Like
mean,
yeah, it's
if they're not
it's
making
kind of
money off of it
sad.
anymore, that's
Well,
no
that's the
use to
thing is
them.
like there's the capitalist like aspect to it is like, well, it doesn't really make money. We don't get a return on this, so
Mm-hmm.
who gives a fuck about all of this media and history? And that's kind of sad.
It is
It's
sad.
the same thing with anime. Like, there's a whole like discussion on like, oh, you shouldn't pirate thing. Like, you shouldn't pirate anime. And I'm not going to get into a discussion about pirating, whether it's justified, but like, I will say pirating has led to like the archival of like a lot of series that would have never seen the light of day again.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
I mean, just think about how difficult it was to watch Ava. Like
Yeah, for a
literally
long time, it
the
was like
most
one of the most.
important anime of all time, and like we couldn't watch it because
You couldn't watch it unless you got some ADV DVDs or
yeah,
VHS tapes.
yeah,
And I've done some searching on like anime VHS tapes, like especially ones from like for like shows that people actually like. Evangelion, like a single tape can go for like upwards of hundreds of dollars. And it's
yeah.
like, imagine if it wasn't on Netflix. Like that would be your only other option, right?
Hmm.
Unless you wanted to go stream it somewhere, right?
Yeah. I wonder how many episodes would a VHS hold anyway?
Couple episodes.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy that you can get like a whole series on like your hard drive at this point.
mhm.
People had to like, and the thing was like with like physical media, and that's physical media is kind of a dying breed too. But
Yeah.
for a long time, physical like buying anime on physical was really expensive, and it still kind of is pricey, especially if you're going to import from Japan. However,
Mhm.
back in the day, you would be getting like a VHS tape with like two to three episodes, and that would cost you like $50 to $60. And not all of them were legal VHS tapes. A lot of them were uh, like Japanese rips,
Mhm.
like they were recorded in Japan and they were like hard subbed. Like So you're getting like basically a copy of a VHS tape, which looks like shit, probably,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not the best translations usually.
Mhm.
Um, like we in a way have it way easier than like anime fans from the past.
Definitely.
Um, I don't know where I was going with this, but shout out to the people that are that I don't know if archive is a verb, but like uh
Preserve media.
preserve. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Those guys are rock stars.
Definitely the best thing about the music industry is that that's not really a big issue. Like, there's lots
People
of
are
music.
very like love to preserve music. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, the capitalist sort of thing. Like, even really old albums can still just like be released to the
Hey,
public
you
because
could
it's
still
like
find really old albums on like Spotify
Spotify.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
which is
Because
like crazy.
yeah, because getting streams on Spotify will still make money. So why not?
Before then, you had to like look for a CD, and it's like you have to go to like. I'm thankful that in my state that I have like a lot of like record shops still,
Hmm.
and a lot of those people that own like run the record shops definitely understand the importance of like preserving music.
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, I mean, not everyone has that privilege, so
Hmm.
you're kind of just stuck with what you can find at this point. And if you're trying to look for something, then you might be shit out of luck.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Media is cool.
Media is actually pretty cool.
And physical media is cool. It's a
I
little.
media, okay, I'm thankful for physical media because that shit is underrated, I think.
It is.
Um, uh, to bring it back to like the whole capitalist angle with like uh streaming platforms and companies, like just because it's on a streaming platform doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. And if it's not
Right.
released on physical, it might be impossible to find unless you pirate it. So, plus sometimes companies will like I wouldn't say censor, but they will change things for, you know, financial reasons like, oh,
Hmm.
we're gonna make because I heard recently you know the movie Birds of Prey, right? That
Hmm.
Warner Brothers movie with Harley Quinn.
A little bit.
That movie came out as an R, hard R. Um hard R rating. I shouldn't say hard R, that means something else. Um I was gonna say it came out as an R and it was changed recently to like a PG-13 rating on HBO Max and it was heavily censored. A lot of things were changed. And then I learned recently that it actually premiered for the first time on the channel TNT on cable. So they had to change a lot of things, right?
Weird.
And it's like you have to make sure like you have physical copies of things because like companies like businesses will change stuff.
Hmm.
Absolutely. If they hold the rights to it, like for sure.
Huh. It's crazy. Do you know what like stuff they changed?
Oh, there was a thread about it. Like there was no blood, as far as like violence goes. A lot of swear
Right.
words were taken out. People who would flip the
Oh.
bird, if you will, they actually like etched out, like erased the finger, like the actual finger, if that makes sense, like the finger sticking out. So it looked like just they have a fist or something, which is like the weirdest shit ever. But just things like that are just like, well, that's dumb. That's stupid.
I can't believe they removed the birds from Birds of Prey.
I know.
What if the
I
real
like that.
prey was the things we
The
censored
real
along the
prey.
way? I don't know where. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, VTubers, preserving media and physical media. What was the other thing you
and
brought up?
preserving your memories. That's
And
another one. It's
and
like
memories. Those are things which
maybe
are
I'm
cool.
hoping that like down the road we get into like Ghost in the Shell kind of territory where like you can just put your memories in like a shell of a person, if that makes sense,
Mm,
and like preserve your memories because like that would be cool as shit. That'd be awesome.
it'd be lit.
I'm ready for the cyborgs. I'm totally ready for that.
Yeah, bring them on.
Fuck it.
All right. Well, we're not grateful for anything else because everything else sucks. So I'm gonna bring
Pretty much.
in some people. I'm gonna bring in. Let me see. Hang on. Let me try doing this really quickly and also talk while I'm doing this because you know, I gotta. Oh wait, he can wait. Can he actually? Oh well, that's like. Our friend Wolf can actually join the studio, but he just didn't because he's very polite.
Wow, he's a nice guy.
What a nice guy. All right.
Crazy.
Hi, Wolf. Is Wolf there? Oh, Wolf's dead.
A
Okay.
Wolfenstein.
What? Oh, why did
Oh, hi.
that? No, you just didn't say anything. You just pulled me in, and on the stream there's like a
I just-
delay, so I didn't hear you saying that you
Oh,
will put
fair
me
enough.
in.
I just abducted you from wherever you were.
Are you a human trafficker? Like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yes, that's exactly what I. This is human trafficking happening live. Except this is actually a wolf. We're not talking to a real person. We are talking to a wolf.
Yeah, crazy, right? It's
A
not even
wolf with a witch
Christmas.
hat, I should say. Like,
Yeah,
not something you see every day.
it's Elena's hat.
Oh, that's why I look familiar. Okay.
Uh huh. It's that hat.
Everyone knows that hat.
You know what? I'm gonna bring in Jakers as well because Jakers is just like sitting there, just kind of lonely. So hang on. Let me get this
Oh,
guy in
pissed
here.
off.
It's like, this is bullshit. I was talking to my
Oh,
best friend.
bullshit.
I was talking to my best friend U.Wolf, and he
We didn't
got
say a word.
abducted.
We didn't say anything. We're just waiting
You guys actually hate each other.
in silence. I don't know
Wolf,
who
like,
that is.
sucks. I have to
I'm
bring this
sorry.
asshole on. God.
I'm not that much of a server regular to know everyone yet.
Hi, Jake.
Whoa, ain't this a shocker? Okay.
Hello.
This.
Yeah, we've got people on here. All right, so Wolf, what is something you're thankful for this year or recently or just today?
Okay, so let me just say that I'm not American, so like this is not a custom that I'm used to. But I
thankful.
thought of something.
Being thankful.
Yeah, exactly. Like my nation is more about like complaining and saying that we don't have enough stuff, that we deserve more. But let me try being thankful for once. Let me put on my sappy hat. I'm thankful for our anime awards because I've never had like an anime fandom that I was a part of, that like people I could just talk about anime for like fun and like have more like in-depth discussions than just wow, there's a season I liked. And participating in them has sort of let me join a community and let me sort of to participate more in various our anime activities, such as the writing contests, like writing Watch This, joining the writing club, and eventually even weaseling my way into this podcast.
Yeah.
So, the fun gave me like a community to be part of, even in some small way. So that was like, I guess, something it's something that's like has become a bigger part of my life, I guess.
Yeah, it's a really awesome community that I've slowly gotten myself more immersed in over time. Because we get invited, like this podcast gets invited to the present at the awards every year, and so I don't know. For a while, it was just like one of those servers that I was in and just never did anything in. But then I don't know why, but at some point I just joined and just got involved with more things, and I'm like, oh, I've got like people here that I kind of know, and so yeah, now I'm like in your Pokemon tournament and stuff.
Mose, are you saying that the real awards is the friends you made along the way?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
There it is.
Awesome.
I don't condone this message.
They're not actually friends in there.
They're associates, but I wouldn't call them friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not go too far, okay?
Yeah. Tropical Rouge Precure Anime of the Year. Looking forward to it.
Oh boy.
Did you spoil the winner already?
Yes.
What?
I should also message
Wait,
Wilson
did Precure win like last year or something?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was there for that. Right. That was a big deal, quote unquote.
I don't
Pretty
remember what was the last year's Precure.
What
The
did
one
win
that
last
would
year?
have been eligible last year. I don't watch this series.
What did win last year?
That's a good question.
What
Chihaya
anime?
Furo from Jury.
Yes, sir.
And I don't remember what one public, actually. I'm sorry.
I think it was
Maybe
ReZero.
ReZero?
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
Well,
sounds
that's a little
likely.
disappointing.
So just I'm like recalibrating my. Oh my god, it's
Yes!
Sinris.
Go! Sorry,
Yeah,
I
it was ReZero.
cut you off. Sorry.
I'm just like recalibrating my brain, trying to figure out what anime came out last year, and like didn't completely die or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kaguya,
that's right, that was a thing
Eizoken,
that
and like
happened.
Great Pretender were the next three in both jury and public orders.
Oh, can I add something I'm thankful for?
Yeah.
Hardworking animators. Love those people.
Yeah.
Shout outs
You
to
can
them.
never
yeah,
get enough praise.
seriously.
They really, really do not. They also do not get enough pay, but that's
True.
something else entirely.
Yeah,
Usually,
no, like-
whenever I edit the podcast, I've gotten into this habit of just like completely throwing away my physical health for the sake of editing something, which is usually my fault because I'll just like procrastinate for several weeks on an episode, and then it's like, oh shit, it has to come out tomorrow. So then I'll just edit like a 3-hour podcast in one sitting, and it's just horrible. But and so it's like, oh, this must be what it's like to work on anime. Except without the procrastination, that's just every day for them.
And you're paid even less to do that.
Yeah, I'm paid literally $0.
Literally
for this.
nothing.
I do this as a public service.
I have nothing to gain
Exactly.
and everything to lose by doing this. But
What are our podcasts but public service announcements?
yeah.
Speaking of which, what's coming out next weekend? Whoops.
Lol.
Wait. That's a good question. What is coming out next week?
Oh no. Hey.
I genuinely don't know.
You guys doing anything next weekend?
Not in particular.
It's funny
You
because
guys
we're like
got
sitting
any
on
show
like
you really want to talk about for 1 to 2 hours tomorrow night?
Have you guys heard about this anime called Cowboy Bebop?
I have.
Oh, just finished that yesterday. Oh, boy.
Ooh, wait, the Netflix series or the anime?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Technically both. I did, because the first time I watched Cowboy Bebop was like back in 2013 or so.
Oh my
and
god, that's
so-
when I first started watching anime. Jesus.
Yeah, it was one of the major recommendations, and it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, I understand how big this is going to be. I might as well go back and refresh because I've mostly forgotten the entire experience around it. So once they put out the original series on Netflix, it's like, okay, go back through that, refresh, go through the rest of it, and then have that kind of perspective going in with the new one for that kind of different slate for a new perspective. It was interesting.
I
To
think
say
that
the
is a
least.
way to describe the Netflix bop, if you will, is interesting. Or aka choices were definitely made.
Yes, sir. Huh.
Might be a hot take, but I'm gonna come out here and say that nobody should ever make choices.
I think choices lead to terrible things happening in the world. I'll just say that much. Tell me one thing that happened in the world that wasn't because of choices. Like, that's what I thought.
X-Arm.
That was led to choices. That was because of choices. Choices were made.
Choices were made. Very, very bad choices. Collapsedblock says, I recall asking you guys if the 1 episode per week wasn't too much. I would be thankful if it was at least a month. See, it wasn't really too much doing 1 episode per week, but then this thing happened where these things called holidays occurred. And
Yeah.
so it's like... when
It's
it
always
co-
the toughest time to do these.
Yeah, so when
Even
it
though
came to...
we are sitting on recorded episodes, they just need to come out. That's all.
Are we?
Wait, are we?
Yeah, I recorded a 3-hour podcast like 2
Oh, I
weeks
know.
ago.
Yeah, you and Shaw did one last week.
Yeah.
I completely
But
forgot
yeah,
about
and the
that.
3-hour podcast takes a while.
Hey, drop that next weekend. That could be our episode next weekend.
I can drop it theoretically anytime. It's low-key easy to edit because it's mostly me not shutting the fuck up, so like that's easy to edit.
Yeah. Just on this point, the future of our release schedule is somewhat up in the air. We're still discussing it. We set the challenge for ourselves to put out some sort of content every week from when did we start this? Like September
Like August.
until the end of
August?
the year.
Yeah.
Like August to the end of the year. And so far we've done it, even if it's just been like streams these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with streams. That's content still.
No, it's definitely still
People
fun.
like that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Low-key,
Where-
I don't know if it matters what we put out every week. People will watch it.
Yeah.
That's not the that's just how it is. So
Right.
And the reason why
Um,
we're doing it this way, like all the way to the end of the year, is because at the beginning of the year we're going to have Attack on Titan again, and we do plan on doing that weekly series again. So it's like we just do all these
Oh.
episodes, and then like automatically we'll have.
why did
3
I
months
not
of
realize
content.
this? Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
also forgotten this was the plan, even though Moz explicitly said that this.
Even though I say it every single
this was his
time.
reasoning when
I
we
completely
started
forgot
doing
about the
this.
end game, and I'm just like focusing like, oh, what are we doing week to week? Cool.
But it has been nice to like be in that rhythm. And it might be in the future we'll do like edited episodes every other week and some like stuff that's less time consuming to produce in the weeks between, you know.
Yeah, like the Attack on
Might
I'm
end up
super
somewhere.
down with a bi-weekly schedule. That sounds really nice, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess something I'm thankful for is in team communication. That's super underrated.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Because it's not easy to get like a whole bunch of content out every week with like a team of like 8 people. That's harder than you think it is.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Because like I said,
Speaking of which, we absolutely do need to have a team meeting this month to talk
We,
about.
I miss team meetings. Those
within
rule.
in the next 3 days. 'Cause that's
We'll
the
do-
end
we'll
of the
do it in
month.
Oh
December
well,
would
it's
be
not.
awesome.
I was thinking in December, but
Yeah, definitely.
yes.
Yeah, it's any day after Thanksgiving is automatically December. Like
Right.
for the rest of the year, like it may be the 27th, but like, bro, it's December. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Although I
do-
will admit, as a Canadian, we crossed that threshold a couple of weeks ago. But it's
Yeah,
nice
you
to have
guys have it
back-to-back.
early. You guys have a
Yes, sir.
premature Thanksgiving. It's like
Yeah.
gross. No offense.
Still
to,
need to look up the
Canadians.
history on that, but I don't know. It just happens.
You guys also have Boxing Day instead of like.
Yeah, Boxing
is it?
Day is just like a universal holiday where basically everybody sits down and kind of just unwinds after the Christmas festivities, and then just sits down and watches hockey. In terms of Canada, we just sit down and watch the World Juniors, and then it's just kind of like, all right, well, this is our entire day then.
That sounds
That's
amazing.
That's awesome.
I wish we
like
had that. Because we need more holidays at the very end of the year. Because my birthday is on December 30th, so it lands in this amazing like point between Christmas and New Year's, where it's like
I think
it's
what
just like
we
an extra
need
round of
is
holidays.
like the more international like definition of holiday, where it's not like we celebrate anything, but we just have a day off and we just chill and vibe. It's like a vacation day.
That's
but,
what
like-
Labor Day is
Right.
supposed to be, but it
Yeah.
isn't.
Well, yeah,
Got
it's
a bunch
why
of
do they
those
call it
birthday
Labor Day when
holidays
like
scattered around.
why do I have to work on Labor Day? That's bullshit.
Exactly.
I'll just say that much.
This is not what we were promised.
Yeah, right. I want a refund. This is stupid.
Lots of punches are also thrown on Boxing Day.
Well, that reminds me of that
Wait.
ad. Not that ad, but like that episode of SpongeBob where they have the cardboard box, and then Squidward is just watching television, and he keeps seeing things about boxes, and he's like, "Isn't there anything that isn't about boxes?" And then he turns the channel to like a boxing match, and he's like, "Oh, okay, boxing match, okay." And then it's literally 2 boxes like
Rubbing
boxing
against
each other. So, good stuff. Oh, I guess Collapse is in there.
Oh,
You
Well,
didn't
shit.
know. You're being a dick.
yeah.
I guess I could pull him in.
Yeah, hang on.
I didn't know if you
Oh,
wanted to do that.
Oh,
Yeah, I put him in. Hello, Collapse Stone.
God, there's so many people. I gotta move stuff on the screen now. All right, there we go.
Oh my god.
It's how horrifying. I didn't know we'd actually get people on this podcast. I thought it would just be me and
You're not
Decker
supposed to
being
say that
depressed
part
for
out
an
loud.
hour.
Okay.
Although I do admit
Hi.
I apologize not showing up this morning for the gang watch stuff because I completely overslept and that was all on me. My bad.
I mean, it's no big deal, really. But yeah, I
So,
hope you had a
that was
good
fun.
rest.
The big slappy.
But yeah, but Jakers, you also joined to present something. What are you thankful for?
A sheriff of the class.
Yeah.
I guess animation-wise, I'm thankful for being able to go back into the theaters and watch some theatrical releases because it's
Yes! I
it's been
missed
a
that during
real-
COVID. That shit was awesome.
yeah, like the backlog. Like I've watched more anime films this year, or at least new ones in particular, than I have in more recent years. Because most of them most of them that I didn't have the opportunity to see in theaters because they ended up getting moved to either Netflix or High Dive or stuff. So like the Violet Evergarden movie, Evangelion 4.0 or 3.0 plus 1.0, the Demon Slayer movie, the third Heaven's Feel movie, like all of those. There was an opportunity to see the Heaven's Feel movie in Canada back in like October or November of last year, but because basically the majority of the the restrictions got put back into place since the cases were rising up like back then last year. It's like, oh well, looks like that just got thrown out the window. So I was finally able to go through. But then stuff like the Shirobaka movie, My Hero's third movie, Gintama's final movie, which I just watched last night in theaters. It was like all those
Nice.
opportunities to go through and see that. It's been really nice to kind of have that experience back.
Cool.
I'm curious. Did you get a showing of Josie?
Yeah. I don't think we did. It definitely came onto Canadian Netflix. That's where I ended
Oh,
up watching
cool.
it.
Okay.
But no, I don't remember. It definitely seems like one of those movies. If I had the opportunity, I would have probably tried to go and see it in theaters because I've been trying to have more, at least in terms of anime films like coming over here as of late. It's just if I have the opportunity to see it in theaters and have that experience, it's definitely the priority. But it's kind of been nice to just have that experience back into play, especially with how the majority of those movies were slated for last year, and then it was just this explosion of content like coming back into it where everything was coming into full swing. And
I'm surprised they still did a showing of Heaven's Feel last year, like in the middle of COVID, like pre-vaccine and all that shit. That's surprising.
That was definitely a question mark. It was, I think the last anime movie that I watched in 2020 before the restrictions came back into play was like the 3D Lupin the Third film.
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah.
And that was an exceptionally
Dublin
fun time.
Westblock.
What'd you say?
That was an exceptionally fun time.
Okay.
It was a good movie, yeah.
No, I think the last movie I saw in theaters was like the second My Hero Academia movie. So I'm like, I was kind of disappointed with that one.
Right?
That was
That'd
I
be
don't
like
remember what happened in that
2018.
movie. No, the first one came out in
2019.
2018. Second one came out in 2020. This was like week before. I remember this because it was the day that I dropped H5. That's how I remember it. Same day that.
Yeah, so that was like February.
So this was
or March.
February.
So this is so that's right before COVID.
This is like right before like not COVID, but like right before like quarantine and all that shit.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movies make their way to Eastern Europe. So the last movie I went to was Belle this year, but before that it was previous Hosoda movie Mirai, whenever that aired.
Oh wow,
like
that was
2018, I believe.
Like
so
3 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, and before that, I think it was Wolf Children actually. So
Whoa, I didn't know Wolf
our
Children
country
had a theater.
apparently.
Wow, I would love to see.
Yeah,
that
so
movie.
apparently, like our country only loves Hosoda. He's the only anime director for us.
Hell yeah! Well, you know what?
And
That's not a
I'm
bad
not
option to
complaining.
have.
Yeah, I actually really
honestly.
like Hosoda. Yeah, I have like both Wolf Children and Belle as like some of my favorite anime of all time. So I'm very happy for that.
What did you think of Mirai no Mirai? I also saw
I
that.
really liked it. Yeah, it was funny because I was in drama in the awards as a juror, and it was like a very contested movie that like a lot of people hated, and I was like really fighting for it, and like I really enjoyed it. It was just really like charming and just fun, and had a lot of like imagination. I felt like it really sold the idea of like how a child sees the world with like mixing sort of reality with their own like I feel like that's kind of how I saw the world when I was, like 5 years old. Like,
yeah, totally.
That seemed.
I had really mixed thoughts on it, but I definitely think that it 100% nailed the child viewpoint.
Yeah, so like the thing about it was that it was nominated for Oscars, and like but in like among like the wide anime community, it seems to like not be very highly regarded. So that's something that like
really... it seems like based on who I've spoken to about it, it's very mixed as far as reception goes. Some people like really like it, and then others thought it was like his weakest work so far. But I think there was a lot of scenes I liked in that movie. There was some like I don't know if it's spoilers, but there's that scene with like somebody's grandfather from like I think like the 40s or 50s.
With the
That was really
motorcycle,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I
Mm.
liked that a lot. That was nice.
Hmm.
And there's also the opening song was by one of those. How come I don't remember his name? He's a very well regarded city pop singer.
Hmm.
But I thought that was cool. I thought that was a neat touch. I'm gonna have to look up his name right now.
Yeah. Anime being in theaters, that's something I'm thankful for. Not even just for it returning in 2021, but just like
It being a thing.
yeah, yeah. Although I am not thankful for whoever the fuck botched the Shirobaka release.
No.
That was a fucking disaster. I don't know what happened. And the weirdest thing is that it was different for everybody. But it's like everyone I've talked to who like saw the movie in theaters was like, yeah, something was wrong with it. And that something was just different for everybody. So I went
Mhm.
and the movie like didn't start on time, and then when it did like when someone got it on, it didn't have audio for the first like 5 minutes.
Sick.
And then it's like the video was being played in the wrong aspect ratio because like the screen got cut off at some points, and it was and it also just looked like shit. And so I'm like, okay, how much of this is on the theater and how much of this is just on the people releasing it? And I wanted to think like, okay, maybe it just was the theater I went to, even though it's not like I haven't been to that theater before. It's like I've seen Promare and Konosuba and HBK3 in that theater.
Well, I was
so
gonna
it's
say
fine.
like Promare was G Kids, and I think Shirobaka was Phantom events, which
Fathom.
Yeah.
Fathom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannot even fathom them for sure.
Well, it was 11 Arts specifically.
Oh, right. There's so many companies involved with this shit.
Yeah,
so.
but 11 Arts has done other films that have been fine. Like I
They
saw
did
Liz.
Liz.
Yeah, and I saw Liz.
Yep.
But I don't know. And then I just go on like the Reddit thread, and like every comment is just like, yeah, something was wrong with my film too. And I'm like, how did they screw this up? It was really.
I guess
really
I was lucky
strange.
because like mine wasn't weird. Although mine was maybe like a 720p rip that was blown up to like theater size, and you're just like, oh,
Oh,
that's pretty
jeez.
noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I figured out the guy's name. It's Tatsuro Yamashita. That's who it was. Cool guy.
Very cool.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. But
I ended up seeing the Heaven's Feel movie in theaters entirely by accident.
That
because-
sounds
by
weird for you.
accident.
Well, I didn't know it was playing, but
Oh.
the day that I went to put get book tickets for the Shirobako movie, I like went on to my local theater's website and
Mhm.
happened to see that they had like the last showing of Heaven's Feel 3 was happening that night.
Oh wow.
So I just bought the ticket right then and went to see that.
Well, that's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
I had a similar experience with the Shirobaka movie. Like I didn't know when it was coming out, and then I just like checked, and it's like, oh, it comes out like tomorrow. So yeah.
I had a funny experience as well in that I bought tickets to the wrong theater for seeing the Shirobako movie.
Oh damn.
Like I was in one part of town, and then the person doing my scanning my e-ticket was like, "Oh, that ticket's goes to the theater on the other side of town." I'm like, "Oh fuck, what the hell?" Oh fuck. But we got it all straightened out, but thought that was cool to see that there was like more than one theater showing anime movies. Cuz usually in my town it's like one theater. But now it's
Yeah,
like multiple.
That's the other cool thing is that it was not very long ago that there was exactly one theater.
Or even less than one. Like
Right.
you'd have to go to another town or something.
Yeah. I live in Boston. There was like this
Oh, that's easy for
tiny
you, yeah.
one screen theater that plays like indie art movies
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
where they would get like all of the anime movie releases. Like I saw all of the Kizumonogatari movies there. And
So
Like-
jealous.
yeah, like you wouldn't
I'm jealous because the closest show. So I live in Oregon, right? And the closest showing I had for Kizu was like in Seattle, and I'm like, fuck this, god
Aw.
damn it. I wanted to see Araragi on fire on the big screen so
I
bad.
was so sick. But that was like when the Kizu movies were coming out, that was the only place you could see anime movies around me. And now it's like the Regal Cinema that's like in the major shopping plaza near my office gets a couple showings of all the anime movies.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like late 2016, early 2017 was kind of that same deal where I was getting into finally having the opportunity to see those in theaters, like Kizu. I think for me it was like the first time I had those was same deal. Like it was a lower end theater that had been sitting in Vancouver for like a good 2 decades, but they were the same one that did, okay, we're gonna have the artsy section here for this week, and then at the end of this month, and then they were doing double headers of anime films, and so they would start off with Blue Over the Wall, which was one of the ones that I ended up going to see, but then it was
Oh, that's
like,
a fun movie.
and then oddly enough, the one that was after that was like Tech on Kincrete. And
Oh wait,
so
that's
that was a
awesome.
trip.
That's super
No.
cool.
I've
Hell
still
yeah.
got to see Tech on Concrete, but it looks extremely sick.
I've never even.
I
heard
think
of
you'd
this.
like its interest.
You
It's
were
by
like-
the ping pong. author.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
Huh.
you were
Yeah.
not gonna find a style like that for a long time. Like it was through there. But then yeah, it was the same deal where it was just the major theater chain in Canada is Cineplex, and that's like there's one in every major town for that degree. And then it only took like about a year after that where it's like, okay, the first My Hero Academia movie's coming to all the Cineplex, and then surprisingly enough, Makia was also one to going through, and then of course right afterwards they had a couple of good heavy hitters with the Broly movie like coming right after. And it's just like, okay, this is viable, we can actually put these in the major theater brands. And then just ever since then it's just been consistently like outputting like all the major releases, and it's been good in that regard.
Hmm.
I remember seeing the Broly movie and the theater being like the most full I've ever seen for an anime film. And that makes sense because it's Dragon Ball, but I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like they're going to see like a Marvel movie or something. It's like a big deal.
That's the shonen energy right there.
When I
Yeah,
saw Heaven's Feel 3, I was the only person in the theater.
fair enough.
Which is pretty it was
So
pretty sick
sick.
because like during the big scene when the Emiya theme plays, which is like one of the all-time greatest like hype up
Were you
anime tracks.
physically pogging?
I was able to like physically like jump out of my seat. It was awesome.
Yes.
On that note, though, I am being once again summoned by Holiday Family, so I'm going to jump off.
Oh,
but I'm
fair
glad I
enough.
was able to sneak on for a couple minutes.
Hey,
Hell
thanks
yeah.
thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
cheers, thanks for stopping by.
We're
Yeah,
thankful
peace
for
out,
you
guys.
joining for a moment.
Okay, I feel bad because we've kind of neglected Collapse a little bit.
Talk about
I
let's
got
talk about
no
theaters for 30 minutes before collapse before Block gets to speak. But yeah, Block, what is something you're thankful for?
Well, for first, I would kind of steal Wolf's answer and say that I'm just thankful for the communities that I have been part of, which are all derivatives from our anime, I guess. Like, I have been watching anime for almost 10 years. It actually surprises me that, despite my age, I'm always of the ones that have been the longest on this business or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, like for my first 3 or so years, almost 4 years, I had zero contact with the community. My only link to news and shit like that was my brother, who told me this was popular, this is what people like, this is what sucks, this is what crashed, whatever. And when I entered the community, it was like suddenly I felt like I had a place to belong, because like when you have been part of it for several years, it is easy to roll your eyes at everything because, well, people really suck. But like I am pretty lonely. I don't know if I'm translating it right, but yeah, lonely. So having like-minded people really helped me a lot to how to say it, accommodate my hobby. Like I knew it made me appreciate what I'd like more. Like I was very superficial, and interacting with different people made me appreciate it in a more complex way, despite still considering myself a casual. Uh, but yeah, like thanks to that community, I have joined many groups of many servers where I have more. Mm, personal would be too much, but just a closer relationship. And as someone, especially during COVID, that I had virtually zero contact with anybody, it has really helped me a lot. I think I have make really strong connection that have kept my sanity in these years.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's cool to have a place where you feel like you belong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally vibe with that. Like, I'll shout out this community as well because like I mean I've been in lots of communities throughout my time on the internet, but I feel like this is like the one time where I've just like
This is like the longest community I've had online for
yeah, and it's just like the
so far.
closest I've ever been with a community. It's like it's been really nice just to like be in a place and it's like oh wow, it's like I actually like enjoy
I'm talking to
being
these
with
people
these
every
people.
single day.
Yeah. It's like I mean, even like communities that I used to be in active in like every day, there'd just be like so many people. I'm just like, oh my god, fuck this guy, like fucking. Or I'd say something in there was a community I used to be in, and I mean I'm kind of still there, but it's like everything I would say, like no one would ever take me seriously because I was like the big order guy. You know, like the guy with like the weird taste
Feels
in anime.
bad.
Kind of like we honestly kind of did this with Sara for a while, and Sara was like, "All right, fuck you guys, I'm not going to post here anymore." Because like every time Sara would post an opinion on something, or like he'd talk about an anime he liked, everyone would be like, "Oh wow, Sara likes an anime. Oh my god, that's
Oh
crazy."
god, I was so guilty of that. I feel really
Yeah,
bad
and then
about
he was
that.
just like,
This
"All right,
guy.
fuck you guys, I'm just not going to post here anymore." So it's like,
I
okay.
miss Sorrow. Come back, Sorrow,
I
please.
mean, he's still around a little
Yeah,
bit at
but
least.
not as much as
We
they
killed
should.
Sorrow.
Yeah, kind of. And
Yeah,
bullied Sorrow.
I really vibe with this community. And Jakers mentioned something we were doing earlier. Like earlier today, we watched every OP of
I
spring
noticed you guys have been
2021.
doing that like 2 weeks in a row, I think.
Yeah, we're doing that every week. We're gonna get through all the OPs. So next Saturday, we're gonna do summer OPs, and then fall the week after. And then I think we've decided we're just gonna move on to EDs after that.
Are you guys doing this to like kind of get an impression of the show, or just like to watch the EDs?
I think just to watch them, just for fun, really. Like,
Yeah,
You
because
guys
it was
have
more.
fun? What?
It sounded like it was more like an idea to just help you go through the most of it, but now that we're all along the ride, like actually being able to experience like going through and talking about various points and whether or not it's hype or just finding your new favorite OP as well, and also not necessarily like looking through and getting a good experience or a good idea about what the other shows that we missed are, but then also just kind of finding like neat tidbits for better or worse. Because still think the highlight of last week's was when we probably found the best professor character hair design in anime, the best and
yes.
worst. Oh my god, I had like a double take. It's like, what was that hairstyle? What was that? Rewind, roll back the tape, and it was, oh god, yeah, because it's in the gang, or what it is in the gang watch chat, but it's just one of the most abstract and out there like versions of facial hair I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, seeing some of the some of the OPs we haven't seen, or like OPs for shows that no one freaking watched that are just weird and interesting. It's like just reacting to those has been great.
Also, to just talk about underground stuff that only a handful of people watched.
What?
Like when you check less popular stuff, like me and Smurf with Procure.
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching Procure?
The one of this year, yeah. Tropical
Okay.
Rogue, it's pretty bug.
End of the year, baby.
So did you
It's
guys watch it because of the opening? I'm kinda
no.
curious.
We have been following since it started, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's pretty nice. It is also not eligible yet because it finishes in February.
Mm.
Just wanted to add to what Collapse said about like finding an online community. I actually tried to find a local community, like go to conventions. Like conventions in Poland are like much smaller than what I've seen in US. We don't rent like convention halls. We mostly like go to schools and stuff like that. And there's maybe a couple hundred people at like the bigger ones, and it's sort of died down in more recent years. I was never able to like really connect with people online that well. It was hard to find people who are like really wanted to, like discuss anime or like really get into it. It's mostly people who just enjoyed, being there and hanging out with people. And so that's like, so, I sort of gave up on that part, on like that part of my life. I wasn't thinking that I'm gonna find a community uh, around anime. I started watching less, and so I'm like kind of surprised that in recent years I've sort of turned around and actually get into anime more because of this online community. So I guess sometimes, surprisingly, it can be easier to like find people online than like IRL.
Mm.
Yeah, like I feel kind of envious of how much access Americans have to those conventions because for my first years, the only conventions that I had here in my city were so very small, and you could check it out in like 2-3 hours, and it was very poorly managed. But then one year I went to the United States and I was told about Anime Expo in Los Angeles, and I was like, oh my god, an anime con, and I pictured the same thing that we have here, but when I went there, it was a totally different world for me. It was pretty surreal to be in such a big event where there were so many people passionate about it with their cosplays, their performances, and all the the money they were willing to spend on merchandise and the such. So yeah, like I said previously, with already online communities, like it really made me feel like I was with a, not to sound cringy, but with my people to say so.
Yeah.
And I had zero incidents as well, but I have heard some horror stories. But fortunately for me, I had nothing of that. It was pretty chill. And like we joke about how the price of AX was so expensive to filter out the teenagers that couldn't come without spending a lot of money of their parents. So yeah, it was pretty nice to go, and if I were to go to the United States again, it would be for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anime
Conventions
Expo.
are great for the mind, terrible for the wallet.
Yep.
Anime Expo is definitely daunting. I don't even think I would want to go, honestly. Unless I was like with a group of friends. Like if the podcast all went as a group together, then maybe. Although we definitely do want to go to there will be a time when this podcast appears at a convention together.
Someday,
Dot dot
whenever
dot.
COVID is
Nice.
eradicated, or at least
or
contained.
we're just or just whenever we're available to travel. I really wish I could have gone to Anime NYC this year, though. Honestly,
I had an opportunity to until I realized that my days requested off from work were denied, and I was like, "Oh,
wow.
fuck it."
Yeah, I bet you guys could pull it off because like the awards also had its own panel in
I saw that they had a panel or something.
yeah,
I
and
think.
they said that it was full. The room was full.
That's awesome.
Oh, that many people give a
Everyone's
shit about Reddit. That's crazy.
yeah, like we were expecting them to get trolled hard or like the room
Rated.
to be half empty, but not like it was full. And they ask. No, I want to say that everyone was nice. Minus one guy that did ask the precure question, and he
Well,
sounds pretty butthurt.
who appeared? Who was presenting at that panel?
It was Panda, Wilson, Meta, and
Ananas and Naxi.
yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Panda.
I
and
recognize
his-
some of those names.
Shout out to
But
Panda
I'm sure
and
they're
his
all cool.
amazing Ononoki cosplay.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I saw that. That was great.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful for my job actually giving me flexibility so that days off aren't usually a huge deal or a huge issue. So, usually I can just take off whenever days that I want. Except for this year when I tried to request off the week that Neo The World Ends With You came out and I wasn't allowed.
What the fuck?
Because my manager was
Damn.
going on vacation instead.
Oh well, they're a dick. Whatever.
Yeah, fuck this guy for having kids and shit.
Oh
And like
well,
only being able
that's see, choices were made there. Like that's his choice.
to. Yeah, terrible decisions having children.
Yeah, he could have
Having
chosen
kids is a
fucking
lot like
anime
just
games.
watching, like, Netflix Cowboy Bebop. Like, choices weren't
Like,
made.
bro, how old are your kids? Like 5, bro. I've been waiting 13
Well, they
years
can
for
take
this
care of
fucking
themselves. Like,
game.
give them an iPad with some videos, they'll be fine. They can handle themselves.
Some nonsense, bro. But yeah, well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. I think we've spread a lot of positivity. That's enough positivity for one day. Everyone gets to go back to being miserable. So hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed this.
This is the
hour
best
of-
time of year to be miserable. Absolutely.
Fuck.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm back in my element.
Tis the season to be moody.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you guys for joining. Like, you definitely helped carry this episode.
I'm very thankful that people showed up. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thankful for.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you guys for bringing us on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me
Oh,
again.
goodness. Yeah. So,
Second time. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, second time
good
in
you guys.
2 months. Now you're banned from the podcast. We can't have this.
You've reached your quota. Like, you gotta chill out.
Follow.
Yeah. Understandable.
Don't get any funny ideas, buddy.
We'll send your check in the mail in the next 6 weeks or so.
Royalty checks.
Oh, you guys are getting paid.
I love that the
Oh.
guests are getting paid before we are. That's
That's where all
I
of our
thought I have
budget
to
is
pay
going.
on to be on this.
you know, I heard
Weird.
about this recently, like for like big podcasts, if they're getting like a big guest on, like they actually have to pay the guest to come on, and it's like, wait, that's so foreign to me. Like, you just like, we're so used to just asking people like, hey, do you want to just come on our podcast and talk about anime? They're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we just make friends with people and then abduct them to be.
Yeah,
on
we
our
just
podcast.
socialize. Other people are like, yeah, this is a grind. Like, we're making money being on a podcast.
I mean, that's
Royalties
just media,
first,
you know,
before
people
you
who
use my
like
voice.
people who are like media sensations because they did something weird, totally charged for appearances.
Influencers or something. Yeah. Everything's got a price tag, I suppose.
And also shout out to the people in chat. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for chatting.
Shout out to you
Sorry
guys
we
in
didn't
chat.
like talk to chat all that much this time. Usually I tried doing a better job of that usually. Yeah. Well, it was a loose episode. So again, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it gives you a little bit more positivity. Hope it brightened your day. And but however you enjoyed it or however you feel about it, thank you very much for taking time out of your day for making us part of it. And we'll
Later.
see you
A
in the next
wonderful
one.
day,